Well, hey there, everybody. This is the Brew City Rider. I'm in my garage working on a project on my 2013 Road Glide Custom in candy orange. Didn't really intend on filming this, but I thought, yeah, what the heck. I'll see if I can get some decent footage here and maybe help somebody. I'm not going to intend this as a how-to video because I've never done this before, but I thought I'd kind of take you along for the ride and show you how it goes for a first timer here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change out I'm going to remove my wheel from my Road Glide. I already got the new tire, and then I'm going to take it in and have it mounted and then reinstall it. And to do that, I had to pick up all the tools I needed today, including a Harbor Freight motorcycle lift right down here. See that? I will show you what it takes to put that together. And then I also picked up this gigantic socket here for the axle nut and this huge wrench for the other side. Got my anti-seize lubricant, and the rest of the tools I'm just going to use what I carry on my bike. Mainly for my wind zone kit and some other bits and pieces that I put together. So I'll adjust the camera and we'll see how this goes. Okay, this is the motorcycle lift I got here. The Pittsburgh 1,500 pound capacity from Harbor Freight. I did a lot of research before buying this, and this gets good reviews. And I got it with a 20% off coupon for $55.99. Can't beat that. The box is a bit beat up, but everything so far seems to be fine. So all I did so far is cut open the box right over there. And there's the main part of the lift. Right there. It's all powder coated gray. It looks very nice. And all I did was stick this on there so far, and I'm going to tighten that down now. So there's just two hex bolts that hold a bottle jack on. I'm just going to lightly snug it up. Okay, now we lift the lifting frame up onto the bottle jack's arm, and got to make sure these supports aren't preventing you from bringing it down. There, just like that. And then you secure that with this this little bolt here that is just loose in the box. I had read about that, so sure enough, I found that it was just loose laying in the box, and that's just a pressure fit onto the pin of the bottle jack. Okay. That's snug. Okay, next we install the stop bar connecting rod. It just slips into these two holes. That's what she said. And then you just put the nuts on the bottom. Okay, now we just put the foot pedal in, and this one had the bolt already secured to it. So you remove the bolt. So stick it in the foot pedal cradle and then put the bolt back in. Like that. And then you just pop the handle in. Came with the hardware down here already. You just put the pin in the handle and the receiver, and then you stick the cotter pin back in, like so. And this is just mainly to move it around. So that use that pedal to pump it up. There's a smaller pedal down here to release the pressure, and that should be it. I just got to try it out now. Super simple to. All right, well, good morning, guys. It's the next day now, and it's a beautiful hot summer day. I wanted to get some better shots for you of the jack and just kind of summarize things. So it comes mostly assembled. The wheels come assembled. The pads, all the bolts are nice and tight. The only thing you got to put on is the bottle jack assembly down here, the lifter pedal, the stop bar connecting rod, this guy right here, and the handle. Okay, everything else is assembled, and as you can see, it's a nice powder coated gray finish. The welds on this thing look fantastic. Let's see if I can get you a shot. Look at these welds. Look at down here. Look at this weld. That's the nicest looking weld I've ever seen. I have heard others comment about how the welds didn't look good, but apparently I got a good one. It's got 4 tie downs there, and then on the front. So I have it in the highest position, or lock position right now. Right there, there's 3 lock positions that the safety bars go into. And this is 17 inches. The lowest position is 5 3/4. No, correction, 5 1/2. Now there are 2 SKU numbers on this lift. And when I went to get mine, they had 1 of each. You can see the item number there is 60536. The other one is identical, other than it has different max and min heights. So the other one is 61632. 61632. It's got a 4 3/4 inch low lock height and 16 3/8 inch high locked height. I figured that at least for the wheel project, I'm going to need all the height I can get. So I figured I'd go with the one that has the 17 inch max height in the lock position. And this also has lock pins, so when you get it in position, you can screw these down until they contact the ground, and it makes it nice and stable. I'll get you a measurement here. About 4 3/4 inches at its lowest height. Width of the pads, we're talking about 13 1/4 inches wide. Okay, the lowest lock position is about 10 inches in the first and lowest lock position. Okay, and this is the highest lock position, just over 15 inches on the highest lock position. So these numbers don't jive with what's on their website. This particular model and SKU number, it was supposed to be 5 1/2 inches lowest height, but it's actually 4 3/4. And it was supposed to be 17 inches high, but it's only 15. I'm going to pump it up to the highest position regardless of the lock. Okay, now I have it pumped all the way up to max height, and it looks like about 16 1/2 inches. But at that height, you're not locked in to the frame supports. But anyway, it is a usable position, I guess, for a limited time if you got to scoot your rear wheel out or something. But I wouldn't leave it sitting that way too long without the advantage of the support. So either they made both of their item numbers the same, or they got their websites screwed up here. See, it says item 60536, which is what I have. 60536, and it says 4 lockable work heights from 5.5 to 17 inches. Well, I discovered they're not actually talking about lockable work heights, and actually there's only 3, not 4. They're talking about actual lowest height to highest height. The lockables are in between. So on the other model number, they say the heights are 4 3/4 to 16 3/8, which is, I just measured mine. That's exactly what mine is. And so they either have this flip-flopped on here, or they have now made them universal. And the model number doesn't matter. Not really a big deal either way. It's only 3/4 of an inch or so. But anyway, there you have it. Alright guys, now I'm going to summarize the tools that I had to pick up for this rear wheel change job. This is assuming that you already got your ratchets and screwdrivers and torque wrenches, things like that. So the specialty tools that I needed are as follows. So I needed a 36mm socket. That was $8.98. I needed a 1 7/16 combination wrench. That was $16.01 at Menards after rebate. I needed this anti-seize tube, which was $2.99. And then I needed a 10mm hex socket. I could have just picked that up for about $5, but for $7.99 I got this 6-piece 3/8" drive hex bit socket set. And then of course the Harbor Freight motorcycle lift, $55.99. Let's see, I think that covers everything. So that gives me a total of $91.96. $91.96. The Harley dealer quoted me $100 for the entire job. Now I still have to pay to have my new tire put on my wheel, so I don't know what that's going to cost, but I've heard maybe $25 to $40. So I won't actually start saving money on this job until I do my next tire, which will be my front probably next season. So yeah, there'll be a good savings here, plus it'll give me the satisfaction of working on my own bike and knowing that it's done right. Here's an example of what a Harley shop did. They put my slip-ons on, and I haven't had my bags off since I got them put on. I did notice that they were a little off kilter. I don't know if you can see that. The right side pipe is a little closer. Well, I take my bag off yesterday, and look at what those sons of bitches did. That's how they installed it. That's the kind of crap that concerns me. They're just going too fast, just trying to make the money. So I do everything I can myself. Guys, time to put the jack under the road glide for the first time. So I got the handle on, and the roll is real easy on the concrete floor. I should have moved this back a little bit. I got these pads also at Harbor Freight to make it more comfortable so I don't have to kneel and sit on the hard floor. think they were on sale for $6.99 or $7.99 for a 4-pack. Alright, so I don't really know where this is going to end up, so I'm just going to put it under and kind of take a look. Alright, I got to go a little bit more to the right. So it is a pretty snug fit. That left pad is kind of rubbing on the bottom of the frame as I put it through. The right one is not. Okay, I got to come left about an inch. There's some kind of a little nub underneath the front forward pad on the bike. See how that looks. It's actually looking pretty good. Check the other side. I use some PB Blaster on my slip-ons. Hopefully that'll make them easier to take off. Okay, I wanted to get it about an inch further in, so I just stood my bike up and pushed it in so there's a even amount on both sides. Just one last check. So to get this all the way under a stock Road Glide Custom, which is a lower bike than a standard Road Glide, you do have to stand it up a little bit, or you can put it on a bigger wood block. The Jiffy stand I'm talking about. So that looks good. So now I'm going to start cranking her up. So it tilts the bike right over. And she's well off the ground. I guess I'll go a little higher. I'll go to the first stop. Goes up nice and smooth. So far, so good. Okay, so now I'm behind the first stop. Now I'm going to lower it just a little bit. Actually, I'm going to just kind of test out the balance. Oh yeah, it feels nice and solid. I'm about 2 inches through on the other side of the frame. And over here I'm about 1 inch. So I guess I didn't have to go quite that far. I didn't take into consideration when the bike would flop over and be upright. But that should be good. So I'm going to lower it down now to the first stop. Let's see how this goes. The one stop arm seems to be sitting up a little higher. So I have to make sure that I have it down far enough so it contacts the stop. Just a little more. So now it's fully against the stop bar on both sides. Wow, that's solid. Now I'm going to crank down these thumb screws to prevent it from rolling. That's one. Oh, and I got my son John working the camera today. Also, he's here to give me a hand if I need it. Alright, that's down. Alright, I strapped down the bike. I just put it over the seat. I've seen some other guys do that, so I'm assuming that that's cool. So next I got to take off this slip-on muffler. So I got my 9/16 deep well socket. Broke that loose. Now I got to take off the Vance & Hines bracket right here. Alright, one more bolt to break loose on this Vance & Hines bracket. There we go. Somebody's burning something. I can smell a fire. Okay, that's two. Alright, she's loose. Now we pull that out of here, and here's how the Harley dealer left me hanging. Unbelievable. So this actually stays on the bike. I don't know if there's a front and back. Yeah, it looks like the tab goes on the front. Yep. So now this is slightly damaged, but it should still work. Ooh, that is a tight fit. I'm going to get a screwdriver. Alright, got the screwdriver out of my WinZone kit. And I'll try to guide this back in. There we go. And when I reinstall this, we'll do it the right way, not like the hacks at the Harley dealer. Alright, now comes the fun part. Put these in my magnetic hardware dish here. Okay, now we got to work the muffler out. And she's not budging at all. I wonder if I have to take off this heat shield. Alright guys, I'm already trashed. We just took the right side muffler off. Didn't film it because it was, yeah, it was that difficult. It took probably 20 minutes and 2 people to get it off. Nothing like I've been seeing on the internet. So one problem I ran into on these Vance & Hines high output mufflers is this cone. I couldn't tell if I needed to remove that or loosen it or what. And since I couldn't get the slip-on to move at all, I started monkeying with this. And as I come to find out, you don't need to remove it or even loosen it. It's part of the slip-on. It goes over and connects to the slip-on itself. So if you have those mufflers, don't worry about dealing with that cone. All right, I think I'm going to take a break from this muffler business, and all right, now we're going to work on the caliper support bracket. And another thing I ran into, everybody all over the internet says it's a 10 millimeter hex socket. Well, that would be incorrect. It's an 8 millimeter, at least on my bike, 2013 Road Glide Custom. Literally everybody said it was a 10 millimeter. It's not. So you got 2 hex nut bolts. All right, broke them loose pretty easy. That's one. Here, now we'll go for the second one. Broke loose. Let's see if I can get them out by hand now. Yep. All right, well, that was easy. I needed that after that frickin' slip-on business. Okay. So there's a little clip right here that I already opened up right there to lift my line out of, to give it more flexibility for when I lift this off, which I will attempt to do right now. So I might need a little more room. So I'm going to take a screwdriver and I'm going to just put a little pressure on these pads. Being careful not to mar them. There we go. Now let's see if I can get it off. A little bit more. Okay, so this, we just need to get out of the way. I don't know if it'll fit on there. Let's try going through here. There we go. We'll set that on the passenger footboard there. All right, next, take out this retaining clip. This is what prevents the nut from backing out. And this can go flying, so you got to be careful. There it is. Hang on to that. All right, now we're ready to break the axle nut loose. One other thing before I break this loose, you're going to want to mark your half moon cam here, your belt tensioner. There's a boss that sticks out right here. You want to mark the top and the bottom on both sides. That way when you put it back together, you can just bring it back to those marks and you should be golden. Okay, me and my son got the left slip-on off. It went easier, partly because we knew we didn't have to mess with that cone heat shield, and partly because we kind of had the system down from the right side one, but it was still very, very difficult. A lot harder than what they show on YouTube videos. But we got it. Now I'm going to attempt to break the axle nut loose. Okay, here we go. First attempt didn't work. Alright, here we go again. I got a breaker bar on here. It's a 36mm socket. Nope. Alright, so we busted the axle nut loose. I used a breaker bar with my 36mm socket. I lowered the bike down till it was just off the ground. And I put my hammer right behind it so the bike couldn't bounce, because it took basically everything I had to break this loose. Again, not as easy as they show on the internet. I don't know what they're doing, if they're just lucky or what, but there's that bitch right there. Okay, now we got to pound that out. So I guess I'll start. Or here, just to for the overview, a lot of guys lift the bike up high and then put a jack under to hold the rear wheel. I'm doing it the opposite way. I'm keeping the bike low and I'm using the ground. I won't raise it up until I have the axle out and I'm ready to take the wheel out. Alright, now I'm going to get this axle moving with my rubber mallet. There's my clip for the belt adjuster, and it's flat on one side there, so you got to match that up with the flat side of the axle. And we got our marks on it. Alright, so it's actually moving pretty good. I'm going to see if I can just pull it now from the other side. Pound it a little more. I got a punch. They give you a indentation on the end of the axle, perfect for a punch. There it goes. Now in here I'm going to have a spacer and the caliper support bracket. Okay. So now you just gotta start finagling things to get everything loose and removed. Caliper support bracket. It's got a ledge on here. It sits in between there. And then here's my spacer. dirty. It's got two machine lines on it. Those go to the outside. Okay, now I'll go to the other side. Keep working on the axle. So now from here, I'm going to start working the belt off. Well, it appears that this bracket, saddlebag bracket, is in the way. It looks like I'm going to have to somehow get that off. I thought I'd be able to work it under, but it doesn't look like it's going to fit. Alright, with a little help from my son pulling the tire on an angle, I did not have to take this saddlebag support bar off. He had a good idea. So here's my spacer. It goes right there against the bearing. And here's the axle. Looks good. We got the belt off. And so the tire's loose. Now we just got to jack up the bike and roll it out. Alright, now I'm going to jack it up high enough to where we can scoot that tire out, or that wheel. I loosen my support strap, of course.
I should be able to get it, actually, if you want to keep it going up.
Yep. So you're going to want the bottom to come out first. Alright, good job. There she is. Now I'm going to lower the bike a little bit while it sits here for a couple days till I can get this mounted. So I'm going to do this very carefully. Alright, so I'm only doing this because I don't want it sitting up this high while I'm waiting to get that thing mounted and balanced. So I'm going to go down as slow as I can. Okay, looks like the front tire is just barely touching. I'm going to go up just a little bit. Okay, that should be good there. And I'll cinch up my strap. Now I'm going to come down a little bit more if you want to go on the other side, John. Okay. She's against the stop bar. Let's see. Yep. Now I'll cinch her down again. Alright, before I take it to the tire guy, I'm going to remove the sprocket. It should just lift out of there. And I'm also going to remove the isolator. Put that down. That's this rubber piece in here. Anyway, I'll work that out of there. So now I got to find a shop that can mount my new tire to this wheel. Okay, let's take a look at this tire here. You can see the center is pretty much, not totally gone, but pretty much gone. Let's check a wear bar. So if you didn't know, let's see if I can see this here. Any place you see a little pyramid, you follow that to the middle of the tire and you'll see a square wear bar. Once that starts getting close to the surface, you're done. You got to replace it. You see it right there? So it's a good time to replace this one. It's fine riding in the dry weather, but I would not trust this tire in the rain at this point. So the next part will be coming up whenever I can get to it. All right, thanks for watching. And thanks to my son for helping me out. I don't know if I could have done it without him.